I do have my full face of product on already, except for my eyes, because that's what we're here to talk about. I just realized one thing that I did not do, and that's fine because it's a good talking point here, just to share with you what you can multitask your foundation shades for. This here was my brightening that I did like under my eye and on the center of my nose. I also then will, if I don't do it with my brush as I'm applying my product, I will just go in with my finger and I will prime my eyelid with my brightening highlight. You can use any really of the cream foundation, 3D foundation formula products to prime your eyelids. If you have oily eyelids, I know of some artists that give the tip, there is a product available on Amazon called Thank Me Later. It is an eyeshadow primer specifically for oily eyelids that works phenomenal, and it's around like $10 to $12, something like that, so it's not too bad for the tube. Okay, I have my eyelids primed now with my brightening highlight is what I chose to use. So I'm going to show you what I have here in this palette. Down here are 2 lip and cheeks. I just wanted you to be able to see what I put on today. On my cheeks, I am wearing Plum. Plum is a matte shade. I just personally prefer matte shades as blushes, but you can do either matte or glossy on your cheeks. And then this one here is a gloss. It's called Boardwalk. So on my lips, I put Plum first, and then I added Boardwalk on top. So it's a lot of fun. If you have just 2 or 3 lip and cheeks in your palette, you can mix and match and have a whole lot of fun with it. I will sometimes mix for on my cheeks too, so you can kind of come up with custom colors that way. So I'm not going to use these any further. I just wanted to show you what I applied today. But what we're going to focus on is this quad of eyeshadows. I'll walk through taking it from a 1 to a 2 to a 3 and then to a 4 color look. So the first color here is a matte shade called Pup. It's a wonderful base neutral shade. For a little bit of shimmer in a deeper kind of a medium tone, this one is called Stardust. I have another matte shade here, blanking for a moment, it's called Cafe. So it's not, we have a lot of really nice, beautiful, deep dark browns. So if you like something really, really rich, there are quite a few shades darker than this one. And then for my brightest pop, I have a shimmer shade called Drift. All right, so to get started, we're just gonna start with, if I wanted to do a super simple neutral 1 color look, I personally would go for Pup here. You could certainly do this also if you wanted a single shimmer with Stardust. So going in the medium color range is a great option if you just want a single color on your eye. So I'm using my fluffy end and just tapping it in, kind of get that excess to fall off. So I'm gonna build and go do both eyes, and we're gonna go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, like I said. So, and this is just suggestion on placement. Everyone's eye shape is different. I do want to point out, I do not have hooded eyes. You will know if you have hooded eyes if when you put eyeshadow on, your eye is closed and you're doing your eyeshadow, and then you open your eye and go, oh, where'd the color go? And that's just simply because either your top eyelid retracts and goes very far into your eye socket, so it disappears, or you might have kind of an eyebrow bone area, the flesh underneath your eyebrow that protrudes down more and out, so it kind of hides your eyelid. And if that's the case, there are definitely tips. So certainly you can pop that in the comments below if you want tips on how to address that. So there you go. That was a really super simple, I just lightly dusted on Pup. I didn't go just on my lid though. I went in my crease and even up here, because I do have quite a bit of space between my crease and my brow bone, I took it up a little bit higher. But you'll see that's just a very neutral single color, but it kind of just cleaned up and defined my eye a little bit. So if you want to stop at a single color, like I said, going with something that's in more of a medium shade range definitely will be a great place to start. If I wanted to take this to a 2 color look, you really could have 2 options. You could just go into your lightest color, and I'm actually going to be using my finger. Put that on your lid if you really want a bright pop, or just kind of go with another medium shade. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tap into Stardust. Our shimmer shades apply amazing using your finger. You can certainly use the brush, but it won't be as pigmented. So I just like the ease of it. Like I'm just swirling my finger. See, there it is. There's that shimmer shade. And it's so easy just to tap it on with your finger. So I kept my selections today pretty neutral, but it is gonna build and develop as we go along. So this is another reason I didn't put my first color pup only on my lid. I wanted that color peeking up and over the top, because now I'm using my finger and I'm just tapping my second color, Stardust, all over my lid. Super easy peasy. So that's all done. So if you wanted just to do a 2-color look, you could certainly be done with that. So I just simply use these top 2 shades. So again, I use my 2 medium-ish zone shades. Okay, so now if I wanted to go to a 3rd color, again, you could go with your brightest if you just wanted to brighten everything up. And if I did that, I would brighten underneath my eyebrow, and I would pop a little bit of brightness right in the middle of my eye or the inner corner of my eye. I have more wide set eyes. The bridge of my nose is fairly wide. So I like to put my brightness on the center of my eyelid, which is what I will do in step 4 for me. If you have more narrow set eyes, putting your brightest point on the inner corner will give the illusion like your eyes are slightly farther apart. So that's just a tip for your brightest shade placement, okay? But I am going to go into my darkest shade next for if I was gonna jump to a 3-color look. This is my personal preference. I like to anchor the outer corners and add some more dimension. So again, this one is called Cafe. I'm gonna flip, so far I've only used this for my first color. I'm flipping to that smaller end. I'm just tapping it in to pick up some product. And I am going to tap this into that outer edge, outer corner of my eye, kind of in an upward slant. All right, so here comes one hooded eye tip. Again, I don't have hooded eyes, but the placement, this is where it kind of differs. You might, if you watch eyeshadow tutorials, they might often say, you know, to sweep a color into your crease. If you have hooded eyes, your crease is already very shadowed and very hidden because everything retracts quite a bit. So for you, like for me, because I will just drag this in. This is not for hooded eyes. For me, I'm just gonna drag this ever so slightly into my actual crease. You'll see I'm like shoving the brush into the crease of my eye. So that's where I'm gonna go. But if you had hooded eyes, you would actually go up here on your brow bone and go straight across. It's referred to as a reverse 7. So you would go straight across with a deeper shade out here, way out here, and then do the same motion right here. I did that upward slant. So it's like you're doing a oddly oriented number 7. So straight across and down. Because what that's gonna do then, even though your eyelid retracts and you can't see the color there, because you've put shadow on more of this fleshy area underneath your brow, that color will still be visible. So there's one tip for that. But anyway, so yes, to deepen, so this is color number 3 for me. I'm doing it on that upward slant, and then I am bringing it into my crease just a little bit. I'm gonna flip to my fluffy end and just do my nice little windshield wiper and flick that in to blend with the color. But just see the difference, how adding that 3rd color just really anchors and helps give dimension to the outer eye compared to that side. So now I have to repeat. So again, I did my like upward slant. Another hooded eye tip, you'll notice I'm closing my eyes completely pretty much as I'm applying. If you have hooded eyes, challenge yourself, especially when you're doing the colors that are up here, to keep your eye at least partially open so you can see what you're doing. And it also gives an idea of what the shadow will look like once your eye is open. So you don't have to close your eye. So like even for me, when I'm moving the product into my crease a little bit, like I don't have to shut my eye all the way, because now I know what it's gonna look like once my eye is actually open. So I'm just gonna tap that on, and then I'll flip over again the brush and move that back and forth. When in doubt, just blend it out. Our shadows blend beautifully. All right, so I have the first 3. Now all I have left is my brightest color here, which is called Drift. And this is where I was talking before. If you didn't want to do the dark and just wanted the brightness, I'm gonna use the fluffy end. I'm picking up a little bit. I like to pop this underneath my eyebrow. And what this does is it blends then into that first color that I put on. It's to kind of ease that transition. And also because it's a shimmer, it's almost like putting an illuminator right underneath your eyebrow to help that definition pop. And then I'm going to switch over to the small end, pick up just a little bit of product. You could certainly use your finger here. And like I said, for me, I like to do my brightest pop because my eyes are more wider set right there in the middle. And that just adds a little bit of extra dimension. So that's how you can take something, you can have a quad and you can choose to do 1, you can choose to do 2, 3, or take it all the way to 4. I like to bring my shadow underneath my eye a bit too. So I'm gonna use 2 colors. I'm gonna first, just using that smaller end, pick up a tiny bit of Cafe, which I used to deepen that outer corner. So you can see how that just kind of ties my upper lid to my lower lid. So I'm just lightly dusting that. Oh, definitely got a little bit of fallout. That's all right, we can clean up with our brush. If you like to do your eyes first, that will avoid the issues of fallout. And then I am going to take just a little bit of that Stardust shimmer that I did all over my lid and just bring that down here too. I don't want to close my eye off, so I'm not bringing it all the way to the inner corner. I'm just kind of going like 2/3 of the way. There we go. So mascara definitely makes a big difference. I wanted to give one tip regarding application. So I think it's very natural for us to like lean in and look at our mirror like this when we're gonna go to put on mascara. But then if you think about it, on your upward stroke, you're that much more likely to accidentally hit your eyebrow, hit the lid, hit, you know, the area around your eye. And then you've got a smudge that you have to take care of. If that happens, you can wait for it to dry, completely wait for it to dry, and then take a spoolie end, a clean spoolie, like at the end of your line brush, or if you have a different one, and very gently scrape it away. You can scrape off the dry mascara without ruining your eye makeup. So that's one tip. But to help avoid that even happening, instead of looking down into your mirror, look up like you're checking for nose hairs or boogies. And then that way your lid is actually, you're angled so that you're not going to be on the upward stroke. You won't be hitting that portion of your eye. So I know we all look kind of silly when we're putting mascara on, but I just wanted to mention that as a really great application tip that's pretty simple, that we don't even necessarily think about how we're angling our face when we're applying our mascara. But if you just look up like you're checking your nose and then put it on, you will avoid nicking your eyelid. If you would like help picking out a 2-color, 3-color, 4-color for your eyes, eye color, I am happy to do that. Again, the only tool I used for that entire 4-color look was our trusty eyeshadow brush. It is only $18. And for 2 totally different shaped ends, that gives you so much amazing ability to blend and apply. It is a real steal. This thing is fabulous. Definitely my favorite Saint brush, hands down. If only you could do your entire face with it, but that would be very meticulous and take forever. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, let me know.